The sundrop flower. In Disney's movie Tangled, a drop of sunlight fell to the earth and sprouted as this flower, the sundrop flower. And it could heal any illness and restore anybody's youth, which Mother Gothel, who raised Rapunzel, used to her advantage. With a simple song, the flower let Mother Gothel live for hundreds of years, allowing her immortality. But that immortality kept her from experiencing the journey every individual, every living, breathing, animal and human ventures from the second they're born to the moment they take their last breath. It took away the hardships and the accomplishments, the love and the hatred, the ups and downs of growing up, of completing the cycle we call life. Hello, everybody. My name is Isha Matta, and today I'm here to take you through the beautiful process of aging. And now researchers have been ruthlessly studying the field of longevity, trying hard to discover the science and the secrets behind living a long life. Just like Mother Gothel, except, well, nobody's trying to kidnap a princess here, I hope. And significant progress has been made in the methods we can adopt to attain a lengthy lifespan. And these include maintaining a nutritious diet, exercising regularly, and prioritizing our mental well-being. And these methods help us manipulate the pace at which we age. It gives us the ability to manipulate how slowly we actually age. These methods are the sundrop flower of our lives. But why is it necessary to manipulate the pace at which we age? What are we so afraid of facing? All of the makeup, surgeries, and fake IDs we use to conceal our age. Is it all worth it? Why is it so difficult for us to accept ourselves and the quirks of growing up? Well, Erik Erikson, a German-American psychoanalyst, established a certain set of stages that we divide our lives into, beginning with infancy and ending with old age. Each phase was then associated with a standard conflict or crisis. For example, the conflict that embodies adolescence is the bridge between identity and confusion. This stage highlights our transition from our childhood to adulthood and how our main aim is to figure out who we are and who we're meant to be. So for those of you who thought you could get away with just going through puberty and a midlife crisis, good luck, you're in for a lot more. However, I do have good news. Not only does each conflict come with its own sweet crisis, but it also comes with a virtue. It comes with a quality that we can finally understand through our experiences, ultimately known as Erik Erikson's stages of psychosocial development. And with the final stage comes the conflict of ego integrity versus despair, which is finding the balance between leading a satisfying life and making choices that help us attain success. And this can be very challenging. But attaining that balance ultimately uncovers the virtue of wisdom, the manual of life. As Marcel Sprout rightly said, we don't receive wisdom. We must discover it for ourselves after a journey that no one can take for us or spare us. But this entire journey, aging, it's a very odd process. Because of this constant turmoil we experience between the conflicts and the virtues, we tend to have mixed feelings about the entire process. Sometimes we love it, other times we absolutely detest it. As kids, we saw how adults had more authority, more importance. They could make their own decisions and could stay up past midnight if they wanted to, and that was insanely cool. And that's what excited us and made us love the fact that someday we would be adults too. But on the other hand, adults tend to look back at how simple being a kid was. Not having to pay bills, not having to make life-changing decisions, and actually being able to sleep before midnight. And then there are us teenagers who are weirdly stuck in the middle. But what I'm trying to say is we all somehow have a common conception that there is a predetermined process everyone's bound to follow from birth till death. You start as an innocent child, and then you study, and you study, and you study some more until you get older and get a job. And then you start paying your taxes, start a family, and eventually retire and wait until it's time for you to pass your legacy on to your kids. And because of that conception, that is what we ultimately stick to and follow without thinking, hey, maybe this can be slightly modified. Maybe there's a way to enjoy the perks in every stage of aging. Growing up, I was enthusiastic about pretty much everything. Some might call that being hyperactive, but I'll stick to enthusiasm. And thanks to my high energy levels, I've always kept myself busy with a variety of activities, whether they were math clubs or story writing or dance. But my one constant in life has been my love for music. And I'll never forget my first singing lesson, which no one predicted would become such a significant part of my identity. With music, I could see the light. And although Erickson's stages suggest that my age group is supposed to be very confused right now, I couldn't be more sure about my passion for singing, writing and composing songs, just anything related to music. Regardless of what life threw at me, I could always depend on it to keep me on the beat, and I still can. But the most beautiful part is that singing is not just my hobby. It became a language my entire family was fluent in. It was something we all could connect to, regardless of our age or how much work we had. It was and still is our escape from our reality, our escape from our individual conflicts. As a family, it's our virtue. My grandfather was an artist, and in my perspective, no one could paint like he did. He always had a very artistic point of view. In his eyes, everything we saw as black and white was in bright, vivid colors. And he especially loved listening to the old Bollywood classics. And so I still remember how he used to pull me out of my room while I was studying to make me either listen to his favorite songs or sing for him. And now, looking back, I understand that my grandpa had the same passion for the arts, the same passion for music that I have now. And it's that passion that made him live his final years with us happily and proudly. He was satisfied with what he achieved, with what his family achieved. And ultimately, that satisfaction is what matters. And that is what made him enjoy every second of every stage of aging. He built and accomplished his career goals, but he never turned a blind eye to the things he loved: art, music, and our family. And he lived a complete life. And that's how I realized that even hobbies and longevity could be interconnected. In fact, recent studies have shown that the confidence-boosting and the stress-busting factors of building a skill through a hobby can maybe even add a couple years to our lifespan. However, growing up is inevitable. In our generation and the ones before ours, growing up was just never something we could escape from. But if you really think about it, is there really a reason behind why we even age? A reason behind its inevitability? Well, we grow older due to innumerable physiological changes that happen in our bodies. But the definite causes and explanations behind this term are still yet to be uncovered. In fact, there are about 300 theories, each with their own sweet explanation about why we even age, such as the genetic theory, the endocrine theory, and the rate of living theory. And some of them talk about genes, while the others talk about the accumulation of proteins or metabolic rates. So there isn't a single theory that we can give credit to being the sole reason behind aging. In other words, science hasn't exactly given us an answer yet. But what science has discovered is that aging can be divided into two types: intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic aging refers to the result, intrinsic aging comes as a result of the pre-established rules that our genes set for our body, while extrinsic aging comes as a result of our external decisions, such as our environment, our daily habits, and our stress levels. And now it might take some time to figure out how we can tamper with intrinsic aging, but extrinsic aging is completely in our hands. It's what gives us that ability to manipulate the pace at which we age. It's what gives us that ability to lead a satisfying life, a complete life, one with zero regrets. As I mentioned before, we tend to have a common conception that there are certain things we should accomplish by a certain age, a certain physical age, due to society's expectations, such as we must be in college by 18, have a job by 25, start a family by 30. And these expectations can stress us out. And that is what needs to change. Our physical age, simply put, is the number of years we've been on Earth. While researchers have revealed that our mental age is a result of our reasonings, our attitudes, our perceptions, and our knowledge. And it's very common to find people with mental ages that differ from their actual physical age. In fact, the average mental age of adults was found to be around 13, which is pretty shocking, isn't it? Our mental age is a very straightforward justification to why we should be able to thwart that conception of having to fit our lives into a pre-made template. Because according to that template, although chronologically we're meant to be at a particular stage in life, there are 7 elements to aging that say otherwise: physical, vocational, emotional, social, environmental, intellectual, and spiritual. Every individual's values that they associate with these 7 elements are unique. And it's these values that help us manipulate the pace at which we age. Let me give you an example. Although my grandmother is in her 70s and expects her mobility to decrease, her spiritual beliefs are so strong that they give her energy that even I don't have. She can go for hours without eating and still have the drive and the focus to go to the temple and chant persistently. In fact, she wouldn't even hesitate to walk to the temple herself. And this shows the strength of her values and her interests and how they instantly liberate her from having to fit her life into that template of energy levels reducing as she gets older. Similarly, when we give enough importance to our values and our interests, we can avoid the physical and emotional stress that comes with the stereotypes that are associated with aging. Because it's the little changes that we make in our daily habits and our lifestyles that can have the biggest impact on us and our lives. Because as Mother Gothel sang, "Don't forget it, you'll regret it." When it comes to living your life to the fullest, you would know best. Thank you.